Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creative Careers, where we're interviewing folks from all over the place about how they work in the arts. And this is the final episode in our series that we've been doing, highlighting Latino and Latina artists from all over the place. And I'm so excited that we got to do this. And I'm excited to have our final guest for this particular series. So let's say hello to Joseph Corella. Hey, Joseph. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you, Hannah, so much for having me on, and thank you for all that you do and highlighting, especially for this month. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's start off just get the basics. What do you do?
Oh gosh, this is gonna take forever. But I'll try. Long story long. I'm a Broadway performer, choreographer, fitness instructor, artist overall, a creative. I've loved creativity since I was a kid, and and I now currently, just let's focus on where I am right now. I own a company called 567 Broadway, which is a dance fitness company. And currently I came out with a workout video called 567 Broadway, a new musical workout. And I wanted to combine the love of really the arts into a fun way to move, into exercise, to sweat, something that is for everyone. This is really geared for adults, because I feel like adults, unfortunately, don't get the opportunity sometimes to be creative in a way. It's always like, well, kids, and it's like, I trust me, until my last breath here on earth, I will be dancing, singing, and acting like a child, because it is so great to connect to creativity and movement, music, all those things. So I'm really passionate about 567 Broadway, and it has been something I've focused on for really like the last 8 years of my life. I stopped performing about 8 years ago, when I really got randomly, my career just switched from performing into teaching. And then I listened to my heart and I was like, I really need to focus on this. So I focused on it, and it has evolved and grown in ways that has been really amazing for me to witness, because I never expected I would be doing this in a way. So I'm really grateful to help bring fun ways to keep people healthy and strong, using really the arts in a way. It's important to take care of your body and mind for longevity. So there you go.
It's awesome. So you talked a little bit about you began as a performer and then kind of transitioned into this. I'd love to hear, yeah, a little bit more about your personal journey. Were you always a dancer? What kind of inspired this switch in the first place?
I've always loved musicals. I was recently, I did I did a podcast recently, and they asked me, and I've totally forgot about this memory. I grew up in a private school, and I remember they had this after school program for musicals. And it was a small group of us, and I was probably like, I think maybe, gosh, in first grade, I think. And I signed up for it, and I've always just and I loved it. I loved it so much. And I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to be reminded of that time, because it was the thing that really catapulted me into more of the love of the arts, and musicals in general. But I started dance really around that time as well. So I'm glad I was able to have the opportunity. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And let me say that it wasn't the most common thing to have a male dancer at that time, and I'm really grateful I was able to start dance at that time and continue with it. I've always loved music. I remember lying on my bed as a kid and just like putting on music, and just getting entranced by the music. And that's still to this day, especially in this pandemic. As we've gone through this pandemic, music has been essential to help me through. I put on my AirPods and I walk around the house and I just listen to music, especially if I'm feeling a lot of emotion. It really has helped me through a lot. So, but with that, I knew I wanted to be on Broadway at a young age. So my focus was a lot on that. I grew up in the dance competition world as well. So if you watch Dance Moms, I grew up, in that world. But I for sure knew that I wanted to do musicals and be on Broadway. And so I made my way to New York City eventually, after doing a cruise ship, to save money, a little bit after high school. And I went to New York, and in 7 months after I got there, my dream came true, which was amazing. And I'm really grateful for that memory. But I wound up being on Broadway in All Shook Up. And I wound up doing the national tour of Greece and West Side Story, a lot of regional theater. And just traveling. I wound up doing a musical in Vegas, which was quite an experience. It was, and I think as a performer, I've learned so much about how it's the roller coaster ride of performing and letting kind of things evolve the way they should. Eventually, my husband and I, who met in New York City, we wound up moving to Los Angeles for him to go to law school. He's a Broadway performer as well, and he decided he wanted to go to law school. So we switched our lives over to LA, and we've been there over a decade now, and life has changed and evolved there, and I love it. I'm not going to lie, I love 75 degrees. As we know, California is a beautiful state, and so I'm not upset to say goodbye to winters. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'd love to hear you did the Broadway route and the performing route, and then kind of are in this new phase. I would love to hear what makes where you are now. What do you love about it in comparison to that? What makes it really unique and stand out? And maybe if a student's watching this and thinks, well, I don't know if I want to be officially, on the stage forever, but maybe this is something. What would make this a better fit for somebody?
I think the thing that I've always learned as anybody that's creative, it's like shiny objects everywhere. You're like, ooh, I got an idea here. Ooh, I got an idea here. And it's great to you learn and grow and evolve. I remember there was a time that I said I would never leave New York City. New York City was Broadway, and all of this was it. This is forever. That to say something is forever is not. It is not. It's always going to change and grow and evolve, and that's what creativity is. Actually, even though the mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, that we think happen when you're creating, it's leading you to the right thing. And I know for me, towards the end of, and who knows, I still might perform again, but like I was doing the musical in Vegas. I had moved to Los Angeles, was doing the musical in Vegas, was really excited about it. It was a great team. The people that did Rock of Ages, and the musical unfortunately did not do well. And that was a learning experience. And then I wasn't happy. And I was like, ooh, I didn't like that. I'm not happy. Something's going on. And so I remember telling the universe, and I had worked on Dance Moms, by the way. So after that job, I had like worked on Dance Moms. I just was doing things that weren't making me happy. And so I was like, universe, whatever you want me to do, because it's choices I seem to be making aren't making me happy. So whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And teaching came into play. And let me tell you, I wasn't really a teacher prior. I did not love teaching prior. And when I say teaching, I was teaching dance fitness. I got, I got the opportunity to do that, and I fell in love, and it was for adults. And I think the thing that I love about it is I love, as a performer, I love connecting to people, but I get a real connection, especially with being in class and guiding people. And it was a great way for me to heal as well. These musicals mean so much to me. The stories they tell, they're really powerful. And so we do like a combination each class from a musical. And sometimes these musicals, they're really deep, and we discuss it in a way that is creative, interesting, and we really allow ourselves to connect to it. And so it allowed me to be vulnerable in a way that I had never been vulnerable before. And it allowed me to be creative in a way, choreographing more. And it allowed me just to kind of go into a new sector. And I love it. I love it so much. And I never would have imagined that would be. And I think the best thing I can tell anybody that is a creative, and to listen to your heart, and to let it go the way it should go. Allow it to turn left when you think it's going to turn right, and allow yourself to really find, and you'll know when it clicks for you, because your heart will say, yes, that's right, and that's the direction I should be going in. And there's many different outlets beyond teaching. I mean, the theater, the creative arts have so many different outlets. It could be even just working backstage. It could be costumes. It could be makeup. It could be hair. There's so much to figure out, and to see where your heart is telling you to go. And that's what I always try to remind people. Growing up, I was told, you must believe this, you must do this. And I for sure, I'm like, listen to your heart. What is your heart telling you? I don't have the answer for you. I can tell you what I've been through. And I know the main thing is that when I trust myself, and when I listen to and I listen to the true essence of what's inside, it leads me to the right thing, even though it can be really scary to make those choices. When I'm making a choice to stop performing and start 5, 6, 7 Broadway and go on this new adventure, it was a little scary, but I knew that I couldn't focus on 20 things and make them all successfully. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you, especially as you made this kind of shift into dance fitness and teaching, what were some of the skills that you really had to work on that you didn't just learn from performing, the skills specific to dance fitness instruction that you maybe you're still working on, because we always are working on improving. What was special about that those skills?
Yeah, I mean, teaching in general was, I know how to get in front of a dance as a dancer teaching a dance class, but this was a dance fitness class for adults. And my heart was like, this needs to be for everyone. This needs to be a safe space for everyone. So I really had to work as a choreographer within dance to create movement that worked for everyone, modifications. I wound up getting trained with AFA and getting a group fitness certification, which, that took a moment to focus on and get it. And then I did wind up, I'm always wanting to learn, especially if my heart's like, this is the direction, whatever I can do to learn and grow, I really try for me. And I wound up working with Equinox Gym in Los Angeles. And that was really, really great. And it helped me grow as a fitness instructor. Beyond dance, it helped me grow as a fitness instructor, how to keep people properly moving, and how to engage with people. And Equinox was really, really great about helping educate me and growing me with that. So I'm really grateful for all the knowledge I got from that. But the main thing too was just in business, because now I had a company and now I had my own class and I really learned to stay devoted. I remember starting class with like 2 people in Los Angeles. And it was like, okay, now I could be disappointed. And it was a little, I'm not gonna, I was like, gosh darn it, I feel like I'm putting it out there and nothing's happening. However, I stayed devoted to it. And I did learn a lot through that. People saw that I showed up every week, and slowly but surely, it started growing more and more. And then it became something really, really magical. And it started evolving it creatively in its own direction. It started that energy started attracting the right people that really came together. And you'll see it like in the workout video we wound up making a couple years ago. Those are people from my class. Some of them have been taking class with me since day one. And I do not take I really and I honor the fact that people have stayed with me teaching wise. And it is really beautiful to see in the workout video all these people. These people didn't audition. They have been taking class with me forever, and they're all different ages and all different, all different types of people. And that's what the arts is to me. It is so it is such a beautiful, there is no boundaries, there is no way. And I really hope that in the arts we can start seeing more representation in many different ways. But it is storytelling, and it's helping connect all different types of people together.
I love that. Awesome. So our final question is, if there's a student watching this who thinks, "Hey, I love dance and I'm interested in fitness, and maybe I'd be interested in teaching." They're thinking like maybe this is something they could do down the road.
Yeah.
What's something that would be useful for them to do now from their home, from as they're living their life, that would maybe help them build those skills to get them to a point to do similar things to what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think luckily in this day and age, there are so much ways to gather information. I love YouTube for the fact that you can type in dance fitness class and there's going to be 50 million things that pop up. And I think allowing yourself to explore, try new things, see what really, I really do recommend YouTube as a way from home, safely from home, to do stuff. And there's also ways, live stream classes. I teach live stream classes so that you could even take from me at 567broadway.com. And there's just different ways from safely from your home, as we deal with the pandemic, to do things. When I was growing up, you did not have that. And I'm aging myself, but like you didn't have that access to YouTube or signing on to a class from your home live. So I recommend just trying different things out, seeing what you like. If it is something that you really, really want to do, get a group fitness certification. There's many different ones from ACE to AFA. Allow yourself to really find as much ways to grow as in that area. But really, and maybe you'll do it, and then maybe you're like, I'm just going to do it a little bit as a side thing. That's great, because as we know, performers always need side gigs, and this is a great way to have a side gig as well. But you're ultimately helping people, and I think as artists in general, that is really, really important, that we continue to help each other in any way that we can. So, I hope that's enough information about that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing this with us. This has been really fascinating conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for having me.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to come back next Tuesday at 3:30 for another episode of Let's Be Creative. We'll be back to more of our educational lesson videos next week, but we hope to come back again and revisit some other artists who will be willing to share all the work that they do with us. So thank you so much for following along with us on this series, and we will see you next week.